We look into the next generation. We want to look into finding something which is muscle sparing, because we believe this is a challenge. And we're looking into what kind of other modalities we may find, other MOAs, to really make a difference. But coming with a me too, that's not what we want to do, because I don't think we will add value. Yeah, let me start maybe that way. So as you said, I think there are two major companies who are focusing on obesity, and they will for sure lead the obesity market in the future. And that's the reason why today we're not really jumping on that train in coming with something which is similar to that what's already there. So we're looking into new mode of actions in obesity, like frequency of administration, so like every 6 months dosing, or we're looking as well into muscle sparing. One of the challenges with the GLP-1s is that you lose weight, but at the same time you're losing your muscle weight as well, which at the end could have certain consequences. So we're looking into what kind of opportunities may be there in obesity, but it's not our major focus on. I think what we are really very excited about is radioligand therapy. And you may have heard about that. And I believe as well, if we think about the future, what could be a future growth driver for us as a company, but I think in general, in the oncology field, it will be radioligand therapy. And we are one of the companies which are at the forefront. So we have been the first ones. We have as well the first product already approved. As well in South Korea, it's at the moment approved, not reimbursed yet. We're starting to discuss with the government reimbursement, but we don't have timelines yet for that. But that will be like a next great opportunity which will drive our growth in Novartis. But I think as well from innovation perspective, it will be a very innovative treatment which will not just be a treatment for prostate cancer, which is what we have today. We're looking as well into other tumor types like brain cancer, glioblastoma, or colorectal cancer, or lung cancer. So we are already working since many years with tech companies, especially AI. I'm assuming it's mainly about artificial intelligence. We have started to collaborate, and we have different partners which we work with, like Microsoft, Schrödinger. So there are different partners which we work together, where we are leveraging AI on one hand to identify molecules. If it's small molecules, that's a partnership with Microsoft, or generic bioscience, that's a partnership to identify biologics. So we really work already close to really speed up the development and the identification of innovation. And then we use AI as well to be faster in developing and closing our clinical trials to get approval for our molecules. That's one side. But on the other side, we use it in our daily work as well in Novartis. We have access to Copilot, which is the AI tool which Microsoft offers. And we just did a survey 2 months ago, after having it used almost now for 6 months, how people feel. How does Copilot, this AI tool, help them in doing their work? And across the board, we have heard that most of the people were saying that they're able to save around 2 to 3 hours of work time per week, which means they can use that time for something else, which can help us, to drive our success as well as a company. And the other thing is we're using now as well AI on the commercial side. So we're using the data which is available from IQVIA and other places, and then leveraging this data to make as well the right decisions. Yeah, I think it goes probably very much back to a collaboration which we have as well with Microsoft, where we have databases ourselves from developing molecules over years and years. And there we have, of course, protein structures, and collaborating with the Microsoft platform that helps us to identify the right proteins, and with that find faster as well the right molecules. So at the end, in general, if you think about diseases, it's about inhibiting something, so stopping something, or driving something. And it's most of the time it's a protein which you can inhibit or which you can drive. And then what you need, it's like opening a door. Yeah. So it's the lock and the key. And in a way, the lock is the protein, yeah. And then the key is then the inhibitor which we find to get in, and then that's the way how we can treat patients. So I think that is something which will help us across. One is now the one which you mentioned, but I think there are many platforms which you can work on. I think what we can say in a summary, leveraging the data which we have internally with Novartis, but as well leveraging the data which is available and then using AIs will help us as Novartis, but of course as well other companies to much faster identify molecules to really treat diseases which today we don't have a solution yet. Yeah, I think it's very early to make a statement on that. Yeah, at the moment, obesity drugs have been developed to really treat obese patients, and this is as well what is reimbursed by the governments across the world where they got already approval. In a way, what you're saying, the other piece is, could it save many more lives? It would mean that almost everybody would have to use it. I think that's a big speculation and very difficult to really prognose today. Yeah, and I don't think it's probably fair to make a statement on this. I struggle that everybody will use a GLP-1 in the future. What I believe is that it will definitely, be an opportunity for obese patients to really get healthier and maybe have, less cardiovascular events. That's true. I believe so. What obese drugs will do as well is that many people in society who want to be slim, they will use it, but they will pay it out of pocket. It will not be the government who will pay it. If you look in the United States and probably many European countries, there is a big percentage of patients, I don't know how much it is, which are paying these obese drugs out of their own pocket, out of their own budget. So which means that's not really hitting the government budget. Yeah, but I think it's a fair question. How far will the obese drugs go, and how much of these obese drugs will be at the end reimbursed by the government? Yeah. I don't think that we are not ambitious. I think what we're saying today is that we will not develop another Me Too GLP-1. If you look now today, you have Novo and you have Lilly, and you have many, many other companies who are starting to develop the same. So there is no big difference. The only difference is maybe if it's oral or if it's subcutaneous application, and if it's once a day or once a week, and they all reduce the weight by 15 to 20%. We look into the next generation. We want to look into finding something which is muscle sparing, because we believe this is a challenge. And we're looking into what kind of other modalities we may find, other MOAs, to really make a difference. But coming with a Me Too, that's not what we want to do, because I don't think we will add value. So we focus on where we are strong, the other 4 therapeutic areas: cancer, cardiovascular, immunology, and neuroscience, where we're focusing our development opportunities.
That's what Novartis did. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Yes. But as you say, there are many other companies who are now developing as well other obesity drugs. Yeah. If we would worry about failure, we probably would never bring such innovative molecules to the market. I think that's a price which we pay as a private pharmaceutical company. Our objective is to innovate and come every year, or as much as we can, with new molecules in the 4 therapeutic areas which we focus on, and as well 5 platforms. We have biologics, we have chemistry or small molecules, and then we have cell and gene, radioligand, and CAR-T, siRNA, sorry. And the failure rate in general in our industry, or let's say the success rate in our industry, is around 10%. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that the 90% which fail, it doesn't help us to be successful in the future. So many of our clinical trials, they fail, but we learn. And there is as well a connection to the question before about using artificial intelligence. When we fail today on trials, and we have all the data, we keep that in our database, and then artificial intelligence can help us to probably in the future maybe increase our success rate. And I don't want to speculate if we will go up from 10 to 12% or to 15%, but I believe definitely that we will be able to speed up development, but there is probably as well a chance to increase the success rate. But I think, going back to your question, no, we're not anxious about it. It's part of our business model. We want to provide innovation to society, and that's what we have to do. And we are spending, as you're saying, 20% of our revenues, which is around $9 billion, and we are planning to continue to do that as well in the future. I don't think there is a big secret. I think the first reason why Switzerland is an innovative country overall, we have many industries which are innovative industries in Switzerland, and one of them is pharmaceutical. And the reason why we have innovative industries is because we have intellectual property protection. Very strong, yeah. And we never have a debate with the government if we want to change anything on intellectual property. Yeah. So the Swiss government recognizes that to invest into innovation, into new opportunities, we need intellectual property, because if not, if you have a failure rate of 90%, then you're not able to reinvest into new modes of action, or in other industries into new products. So I think that's the first thing. The second one is, now more from a pharmaceutical industry perspective, is we have many talents. We have universities at very high level, so great academia which we can collaborate from a research and development perspective. Yeah. Now, we don't do research only in Switzerland, we do research across the globe. We do it in the US, we do it in China, we do it in Japan. Yeah, so we have different places, but at the end, what is important to really drive research and innovation is partners, which is academia, which is one, which you have strong in Switzerland. And then the other piece in Switzerland, there are many other as well biotech clusters in Switzerland, which you can work together. So it's in a way the foundation of the country who gives us the opportunity to really drive. And I think at the end, my strong belief is intellectual property is the base for driving any innovation. I think you're making the right steps in South Korea. Was the same in Japan. Japan has very strong protection of intellectual property, and that's what you need. That's a good question. I'm not sure if I could say yes. I believe so. I don't know the times by memory, to be honest. Yeah, but we are definitely one of the countries which is very strong, and we never have debates on intellectual property. For example, in Europe today, we have discussions on intellectual property. Yeah, because some of the countries would like to have shorter protection of intellectual property, that generics come earlier into the market than biosimilars to reduce the costs. But then we go back to what you said before. Are companies willing in South Korea to invest into innovation if you don't get the value for that? And one is the value, which is the price, but then it's as well the length of intellectual property, so that you regain what you have spent, so that you can work on the next generation of new innovative molecules.